What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Total Bella Season 2, Episode 1. This premiere was pretty good, actually. It was a lot of, tea being spilled in this episode. Um, we kicked the episode off with John Cena and Nikki Bella in Tampa, Florida. They go to a restaurant. And, Nikki was telling him that they may have to move to Phoenix, Arizona for a while to help out Brie and Brian because they're expecting their first child. And she has a new business with Brie called Birdie B, which is their new clothing line, and they set up a new office out there. So it's a lot of shit to do. Plus, her, rest of her family is out there. Her mom, her brother, her sister-in-law, her niece, her stepdad, John Laurinaitis. They're all out there, so she has to go out there. So John told her, it's cool, they can go out there, they can move out there, just find a place. So then we head over to Bree and Brian's house in Phoenix. And Bree has, Nikki over there, her mom and her sister-in-law, her niece, and she's doing a maternity mode. So for those who don't know what that is, that's when a woman, wants to relive her pregnancy after the baby comes, so she makes a mold of her body. Um, and for some damn reason, Nikki decided to get a mold too of her breast. Nikki is, they blazing as shit though. So Daniel comes in there, well, Brian comes in there, her husband, and she starts telling him about a maternity shoot that she wants to do, a maternity photo shoot. He's on board with it, but she wants to do a nude one and post it on Instagram. That's where he has a problem. He was like, he doesn't have a problem with her having maternity shoots and stuff like that. He doesn't have a problem with that. But he's a private person. Despite being on a reality show, he's a private person. And he feels like a nude maternity photo shoot should be between the two of them. You know what I mean? Not to be shared in the public. And I actually agree with that. But he understands that she's a social media type person. He's not a big fan of social media. She is. So they're going to have to try to figure out a compromise on that one. So they head over to WWE SmackDown. John Cena is in a tag team match. Him and I think Randy Orton versus the Wyatts. I remember. No, it was yeah. I think no, it was John Cena and Luke Harper versus Bray and Randy Orton. I remember that tag team match. I think it was when John Cena was WWE champion, I believe. So while he's having the match, Brie and their brother JJ, they're running around backstage saying what's up to some of the WWE superstars like Jimmy Uso and Renee Young. Um, Brie was talking to Renee about the maternity photo shoot and stuff that she wants to do. Renee was saying how, you know, Brian seems like, he's kind of like a little control freak sometime about stuff, which possibly is true, but I get where Brian is coming from. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want your wife goodies all over the place. Like, who would want that? Like, nobody wants their wife's areas all over the place. So, anyway, meanwhile in Phoenix, John Cena and Nikki go look at, a place to live while they're in Phoenix. And they go look at a crazy villa. That villa they went to go see was beautiful as hell. Like, I love the look of that place. Like, that shit was extravagant. It looked mega expensive. It was a beautiful spot. I would definitely want to live there. So they're looking to rent it for a few months because they're only going to be in Phoenix for a couple of months. While they're looking over the place, John Cena kind of is not really speaking. He's not smiling. He's not really all that happy. Um, he really didn't seem all that too happy to be there. Like he just seemed like he wasn't in a good mood, and Nikki noticed it. And that's when her brother JJ came over, to look around, check the spot out, see how it's looking. The place is fucking beautiful. I can't front. That villa was so fucking nice. I wish I could have lived in something like that. I wish. Like that place is top notch. I'm pretty sure it probably costs an arm and a leg not only to own it, but it probably costs a lot of money just to lease that place. Like that place looks hella expensive just to rent. Like it looks hella expensive. So meanwhile, after that, we get to Brie and Nikki's brother JJ's house. His house is pretty nice. Like they all pretty much live in nice houses. I definitely like Brie and Brian's house. because they're hippies. You know what I mean? Like they're hippie type people. I like their house. You know, their house is pretty down to earth, but it's nice though. And JJ and his wife Lauren, their house is beautiful. Lauren was showing Brie all of her maternity photo shoots from when she was pregnant with her daughter Vivian, and that kind of sparked up a little bit of an argument between Lauren and JJ because JJ is not happy that Lauren did that maternity photo shoot and posted that on her blog and her Instagram. He's not happy about that because he felt like that should have been private, you know, between them. That's how he felt. Lauren, he felt his wife disregarded his feelings for the shoot because he was against it. You know, he felt like those pictures should have just been between them. And I completely understand because she seemed a little bitchy about it or whatever. Like she just didn't care how he felt, and he was just pissed about it and just stormed the fuck out. And Bree was actually shocked because she never seen her brother and sister-in-law fight in front of her. You know, and the magnitude of the argument was like it's definite problems in that marriage. And I agree. Like, you know, that argument just seemed like that marriage is on the rocks. Like, it just made you think like that because the tone of voice that they were using, how mad he got, it was like, yeah, this is something serious. So John was in Florida with his trainer working out at the gym. And you know, he was telling, you know, his trainer and stuff how he kind of led Nikki on about moving to Phoenix because he has business obligations, so he can't go to Phoenix. So he gotta, you know, pretty much like tell her the truth. And then, you know, he was talking about the whole marriage thing and stuff like that. And he was like, you know, he do want to marry her, but he was like, he's not trying to get married tomorrow. He was like, he wants to get married eventually. You know, mind you, he was already married before for like a couple of years. I think he was married for what, 3 years? And you know, some people, when you've been married, sometimes it takes you a while to actually warm up to the idea of doing it again. You know, and him and Nikki been dating for like 5 years, so you know. But now he got to figure out how to break the ice and let her know that, well, you know, he can't go to Phoenix. So anyway, Bree and her family are at the location for the photo shoot, for the maternity photo shoot. I thought it was tasteful. It was really tasteful. It was nice. It was tasteful. You know, Brian showed up and he took pictures with her and stuff like that. She was telling her sister and mother about the argument that her brother JJ had with his wife Lauren. You know, and they were trying to figure out the magnitude of the argument because their mother was like, well, the whole family gets in an argument, so how bad was the argument? You know, she's just trying to figure that out. So meanwhile, Nikki actually meets up with her brother for lunch. And he was asking her, was her and John going to get the villa or not that they was looking at earlier. So he basically drops a bomb on her and he wants it to be kept between them. The fact that he moved out of his house, him and Lauren basically separated. I feel like, you know, and he separated from his wife and he was telling Nikki like he still loved his wife, he's in love with his wife, but they just needed this time apart. Nikki felt like it was crazy because they just had a baby 3 months ago. Like their baby's only 3 months. And he was wondering if he could stay with her and John while they're in Phoenix, you know, if he could crash at their villa. I would use any excuse my damn self to crash at that place. That place was gorgeous. I'm just saying. That shit was like a little retreat. I feel like his situation with his wife, I feel was way bigger than just that maternity photo shoot. I think they have a lot more issues than that. For him to move out, I think it was more severe than just a photo shoot. I think it was bigger than that. It has to be. I think it was definitely bigger than that one argument. Um, so Nikki and John are in Tampa at their house, and John Cena's house in Tampa, Florida is ridiculous. Like that place is humongous. I would get lost in that house. But it's a dope house. Like a lot of the places John Cena live, like man, it's just dope. Like he does not do anything on the cheap, and that's what I like. So him and Nikki are sitting down talking, and he tells Nikki that he led her on. Um, about the whole moving to Phoenix thing because he told her he can't move to Phoenix because of business obligations that are set in stone. He has a lot of things to do, but she can move to Phoenix, you know what I mean, and help Brie out with the pregnancy and focus on the clothing line in Phoenix. But he just had to let her know he couldn't move there because of business. She understood and stuff like that. Um, so Brian and Brie are at home, and she shows him the pictures from the maternity photo shoot. I feel like it was very tasteful. It was nice. The pictures were definitely nice. And he actually changed his mind about her posting those pictures on Instagram because he's not trying to change his wife. You know what I mean? His wife is his wife. He's not trying to change how she is. He knew how she was. She loves social media. He knew that. So he's not trying to change how she is. She loves posting pictures and stuff. But he's the type of person, he wants limits to what she posts. You know, he was like, there has to be limits to what you post, and I agree with that. Um, but he said the thing is, he doesn't mind her posting it, but she just cannot post any pictures of their baby. Like she can post pictures of the baby on Instagram, but not so many. He was like maybe one or a couple, but not so many once the baby is born. Don't be posting so many pictures. Like he's a private person. So John and Nikki, they go to lunch, and they're talking and stuff about him being an uncle and with the baby, with JJ's daughter and Bree's daughter is gonna call him Uncle John or whatever. So they looked up what uncle means in Chinese, and they found out uncle means shushu. So they're gonna call him shushu. That shit is crazy. So he's wondering when Nikki is gonna tell her family that he's not going to Phoenix with them, and she doesn't want to tell him. But he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna tell him. Like you have to tell him." So we get this scene where everybody's at the airport or whatever, and JJ forgot the stroller. So he had to go home 30 minutes. He had to drive 30 minutes home to go pick up the baby stroller because he forgot it. They're all going to San Diego to basically, chill at the beach house with John Cena and Nikki because, John and Nikki have a beach house in San Diego. So they're going out there to, hang out and stuff like that. And it was so crazy because when they were all sitting down eating at the restaurant or at the airport restaurant or whatever, and JJ's wife Lauren was trying to talk to him, JJ was not trying to hear nothing Lauren had to say. He just basically told his wife to shut up. Every time she tried to talk to him, he said, "Shut up." Everybody at the table was shocked. They could not believe, like, he just basically disrespected his wife and embarrassed her in front of his family. I felt like he owed her an apology. Most definitely, because you got your daughter sitting right there. Even though she's 3 months old and she don't understand what's going on, I felt like it was terribly rude of him to talk to his wife like that. Like that was fucked up. She was just trying to talk to you and you were just downright rude. Um, he was just it was crazy. So they get to Nikki and John's beach house. The beach house is nice. Everywhere John and Nikki live is fucking nice. Like it's always extravagant. Um, so they get to the beach house. They all chilling. John refuses to hold Nikki's niece Vivian, which is JJ and Lauren's daughter. He refuses to hold her. I just feel like John is not a kid type person. I can't really see him having kids. Like he's mad awkward when dealing with kids. Even the mention of kids, he gets a little awkward. Like he don't really want kids or something. Um, I mean, shit, it took him 5 years just to get married, like just to propose. So imagine how long it's gonna take him to want kids, especially with a career like his. So JJ goes in the room to see Lauren and tell her that he happy she there or whatever. I felt like he should have took that time to apologize to her for disrespecting her in front of his family like that. But of course he didn't apologize. I said, "Come on now, JJ. You doing too much." So they all go out to dinner, and that's where John drops the bombshell that he's not moving to Phoenix with them because of business obligations. Brie was pissed. Brie was mad as fuck. So she went and talked to Nikki by herself and told Nikki she felt like John is never around at family affairs, like family events or whatever they get together. John is never there. Nikki was like, she bullshit. John is there plenty of times when they have family gatherings. He's there. And I have to agree because in Total Bella season one, John invited them to move into his house to help Nikki recuperate. He invited the entire damn family into his house. How can you say he's never around? And that little dig that she threw at Nikki about not being a wife, I felt like that was fucked up to throw that in her face. So they sat back down at the table and Bree just unloaded on John about not being with the family often. And John told her, I'm working. He was like, I gotta get, he said, shit, I'm gonna use my shoe to go get this money. I said, for real, he gotta work. And and he threw it in her face. He was like, well, where's Brian? Because remember, Brian had to go do WWE media stuff, so he couldn't go to San Diego with them. So how you gonna condemn John for not being, to in Phoenix with y'all, but Daniel doesn't make it to, her husband doesn't make it to every event, every family event. So you can't blame John. John has 100 things he has to do. He got WWE stuff he got to do. He got a movie he got to do. Commercials, voiceover work. He got a speech he has to give. It's a lot, and he's contractually obligated to all these things, so he can't back out. I felt like Bree should have understood. You can't get mad at him for getting his money. You know what I mean? Like when you're in that industry, when you're hot, you're hot. You got to keep making money for as long as you can. I've heard of entertainers making like $20 million a year. Nowadays, they making 200,000 a year because they're not that in demand like they used to be. So I don't fault John for that. You can't be at every family affair. You got to get your money. Point blank. Period. If Bree don't like it, too bad. That's her problem, not yours. What can you do? I just felt like she was harsh and she owed him an apology. So Brie and Nikki are at Brie's house, basically getting everything together for a baby shower. Figuring out what games they gonna play, like name this baby food and all that craziness. Brie was over that shit. Brie was like, I ain't got time for all this baby food shit. So they all go out to dinner, and John actually surprises everybody and shows up to the dinner. Um, because he's making a compromise because he took what Bree said to heart and he's making a compromise. So whenever he has a few hours, in between gigs that he has to do, he's gonna hop on a plane and fly to Phoenix to be with the family. I think that's a great compromise because he doesn't have to do that, but he's gonna do it. And I think that was nice. And I'm glad that Bree got up and she apologized to him for unloading on him the way she did, and welcomed him back into the fold. JJ realized that he's trying to fight for his wife and fight for his marriage, which he needs to. He needs to apologize first. But this was a good season premiere. I'm excited to see where this season is going. It was a good season premiere. Hit that comment button, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you felt about this season premiere of Total Bellas. And I'll see you all later. Peace.